Hey guys, how y'all doing? I'm here to give you guys my first recap and my first impressions on Shingeki no Kyojin Season 3, or you could call it Attack on Titan Season 3. All fans, including myself, have been waiting for this for a long time, especially you manga readers. All you anime-only watchers, I really hope you fasten your seatbelts and get prepared, because this episode just got real now, dude. So, if anything else, let's just get this started. We have to it that Eren makes a narration about, like, beyond the wall there's a sea or something, you know? And Eren always wondered to himself, like, is there something beyond that sea? Etc. We see to it that we get to see the opening of Season 3 of Attack on Titan. And honestly, that opening right there is very emotional to my perspective or opinion. Those of you guys who are manga readers, if you have some kind of, if you guys could just analyze it carefully and understand the instrumentals to the lyrics, you'll understand, like, it's pretty emotional. I mean, just a little something like to be expected at least, because we all know what Attack on Titan is. Those of you anime onlys watching this recap, you will understand too. So if anything else, let's continue. We have to it that we see our characters such as Jean, Sasha, Eren, Mikasa, Armin, Koni, and Krista, etc., you know, in a certain house. And of course, there's some funny moments where Eren's like, we gotta keep this place clean. Levi's gonna kill us if he finds out. And Levi enters a few minutes later. What the hell is the all commotion about, you know? And he ends up looking at the table underneath and wipes it. Man, you guys are so disgusting with having to clean. But we could talk about that later. Anyways, Eren, we got a new experiment we want to do. And we see to it that they tried to get Eren to do something right now. And this involves a hardening ability that Eren could possibly have. We see to it that Levi talks to Armin about this, that if Eren could somehow master his hardening ability and his Titan ability, then we might be able to seal one of the walls, etc. And of course, Armin says it's not a bad idea, but right now it looks like it's not going so well. We see to it that it does not go so well, as Eren goes crazy in his Titan form, and part of his body in his Titan form is actually shown, like the operator, for example. That's all I can really tell you, honestly. And we see to it that, of course, they all try to get Eren out of the Titan body, but apparently his face is like literally stuck right there. Not to mention his face right now, the way how his face is stuck on the Titan's body right now when he was controlling it is more deeper than expected. You don't even see his eyes right there. Aside from that, we see to it that Titan experiments are going around here and there, and Irvin and Levi are having a little talk about what's to come. As for someone called Nick, you know, we get some news about him, but before I get into that, we see to it that we get to know about Krista, you know. Apparently, her real name is Historia Rice, or Riss. However you pronounce her freaking last name or her name in a correct pronunciation. We see to it that Eren and Historia does talk to each other about a couple things, and she does envy Eren and the others to have some kind of goal. Compared to her, she has almost nothing, you know. And of course, Historia shows her true persona, which apparently is not all happy-go-lucky or smiling, you know. And Eren's like, hey, it fits you though, because I always felt like you always put on this lying facade or mask that's always like, oh, I'm happy, I'm smiling, I'm gonna help people out, etc. It disgusted me. But now that you're normal, that Eren considers it, nothing's wrong with you. I'm thinking about my boy, you got some nice words right there, but you really got to fit the mood. Okay, that's just wrong. Understand the situation. But aside from that, we get some news apparently that Nick Pastor, which is one of the person who knows about the truths about the walls, is dead. And apparently Hanji explained that she actually figured out that the people who murdered Nick apparently is from the military brigade. And what's his name again? I don't care, because they're about to catch him soon. Even Hanji actually played an acting role to know that this guy is the one that killed Nick or tortured him, or the military brigade tortured him. And we see to it that we get to know more information eventually that that the military government brigade is starting to make a move right now. And we see to it that Levi gets a message from one of his subordinates from Irvin to Levi, or one of Levi's subordinates gives a letter to Levi from Irvin, and Levi goes like, "Okay, we gotta get the hell out of here." And the moment they got the hell out, the military brigade actually appeared at the house where Eren and the others are at. And apparently we see to it that the military brigade also got in Irvin as well. We see to it that we get to know that these guys are starting to make their own moves or trying to get the information they need, such as Historia and Eren apparently are the two main targets of what they're trying to go after right now. We see to it that before they take separate ways, Eren gives Hanj a letter or some information that involves a conversation between Bertolt and Ymir. And we see to it that Hanj goes like, "I'll take a look at this later. I'll meet up with Irvin somehow. You guys do whatever you can and get to Trost District." And we see to it that there's an anniversary of the coronation of the king, giving rations apparently, and it's enough for everyone to get people's morale up, etc. You know. And it looks like to me the military brigade are starting to make their move apparently. And we see to it that that eventually Levi and his crew got sneaked up upon and kidnapped, and they got kidnapped by Eren and they kidnapped Eren and Historia. But apparently there was a double like a double body, which apparently Jean took the role of being Eren again, and Armin is Historia. I was like laughing so hard, and I think some guy was just molesting freaking Armin right now, or just getting all inappropriate touching him, you know. But that was not freaking, that's not freaking Historia. That was Armin. I'm thinking in my mind, man, I feel so sorry for this guy. No, I'm serious. And you guys might be thinking, you understand this is sick, right, and disgusting. I know it's sick and disgusting. I know, but it's just like this guy does not even know that this is not Historia at all. It is Armin, and for him to get all touched like that, I feel sorry for this guy, dude. I'm thinking about I hope that guy gets a really bad beating. And Armin was already in distress right now, you know. And we see to it that Mikasa and Levi have a little small talk with each other, and Levi says he's gonna go separate ways and go meet up, go do something apparently. But he gives a message to Mikasa before she takes out the trash whatsoever. And of course, Jean and Armin get saved, of course, by Mikasa and her combat abilities. My dear lord, she is one crazy Amazon warrior, dude. And we all know Mikasa. All you anime onlys, there's no way you can forget how strong Mikasa is. She's a freaking like boss. Aside from that, we see to it that Sasha, Connie, and everyone else save Jean and Armin. But we see to it that Levi and his other subordinate, I think Nifa, I believe, is like looking into things about like amateur kidnappings, etc. You know, even Levi says like these guys suck. But you know, there's no way the military brigade would be this smart though. And apparently, after Levi is trying to look into the situation, he asked Nifa about someone called Kenny the Ripper or something, you know. And we see to it that Nifa's like, yeah, I heard about this person, but there's nothing much I can really like get into it, you know. It's just an urban legend, right? But Levi therefore tells Nifa like, actually, it's true. This guy who's been slitting throats of 100 military brigade people, it's actually true. His stories, etc. I've actually was under his wing when I was a kid, and we see to it that Levi has been looking into things as best he can, and right now, like he realizes something is wrong. He tries to warn Nifa, watch out, but apparently it's too late. She gets shot in the head, and so does one of Hanji's subordinates gets shot in the head. And we see to it that the guy tells Levi like, hey, have you grown yet, boy? Oh, wait a minute. And later on, he ends up launching himself into the air, and so is Kenny's other subordinates. show up in front of Levi or surround Levi. And Kenny's like, wow, you haven't grown at all, you know, and you haven't changed one dang bit. And Levi draws his swords and screams at Kenny and gets ready to clash against him. So it looks like to me the military brigade is working with Kenny and his subordinates, and we get to know a little history about him, that he's known as Kenny the Ripper, and his legend goes by where he slit 100 military brigade people by their throats or something, etc. You know. So yeah, this episode right here, all I can really give you is simple summary is that Levi and his squad, which he formed a new one with Sasha, Connie, Mikasa, Armin, Eren, of course, and Kristau, or should I say Historia Res, involved here and there, you know? And it looks like to me things are starting to get a little ugly right now, because the military brigade are being corrupted and trying to go after Eren and Historia Res, which are the two people who are like targeted for. Not to mention Kenny the Ripper, or should I say Kenny himself, which Levi mentioned that he was under his wing for a little while, shows up and Levi gets ready to clash against him. So yeah, things are about to get really, really tense right now, and it's about to get really crazy. Those of you guys who are anime onlys, I really hope you fasten your seatbelts and try not to crash, because it's gonna be very torturous each week for you to watch an episode. That's all I can really tell you. And this, my friends, is just the beginning. Looking forward to more. So until then, I will see you guys in my next video. So I'm Alpha Zero, people. Have a good day, and I'll see you guys next time, right? Peace out. Bye-bye. Toot-toot.